Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwarash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. We're going to go in the news, okay, as we are along the lines of the news and prophecy that I did yesterday. All right, as we are not ignorant to Satan's devices, all right, as he has many tricks up his sleeve, all right, that if you're not looking at these things with a spiritual eye, you can get caught up because he has so much going on and there's so many enchantments being thrown up, so many players in the grand scheme of things who people think, are standing for the people, all right, but everyone, all right, and everything is an illusion. Okay, this is why we have the truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, all right, as a medium to go back to filter all of these things out. Okay, so we see the left versus the right. We see the Democrat versus the Republican, which really, when it's all said and done, all right, it's the globalist agenda versus the nationalist agenda. All right, and when you deal with the global agenda, we see, all right, they want an NWO, a one world government, and everything else that we see. And then you see the nationalist, all right, they want to make America great again. All right, they're, holding to Christian values, dealing with more of a republic outside of a democracy. All right, and what you see is a divide between, all right, the middle class Edomite, all right, or some Edomites with a little bit of money in their pocket. They see that their American dream is being shattered, okay, by this globalist agenda, all right, and Trump is their last hope, all right, to make America great again, all right, so that they can have the country that they thought they would to pass down for an inheritance to their children. And this is their system, all right, but again, we are within this captivity, all right, and we are prophets, so we go into these things, all right, but ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it has nothing to do with us, but it does, because the way that they're going to play particular talking points, all right, that the right wing, stick to, they're supposed to be into the Bible, all right. When you deal with a nationalist ideology, it's dealing with, all right, your own people having their own above, all right, everyone else. And this is why Trump making America great again, all right, is such a delight to the ears, all right, of these everyday Edomites, all right, or Edomites who have a little something in their pocket, or, who had a dream that this America would be their inheritance to pass down from generation to generation. They see everything being stolen from them, and the blessing being hoarded by the small hats, and they're losing it, all right. And guys like Glenn Beck represent that nationalist, right-wing mindset, all right, but they're all delusional in the grand scheme of things. But it's beautiful to see them clash, all right. But we go into these particular topics so that you Israelites won't be without understanding in the grand scheme of things of what these devils are doing overall, because this will affect you, all right. And these particular left-right talking points will eventually be used to come against the truth. So we're going to look at a few key things that are taking place, all right, and hopefully you brothers and sisters are edified, because that's the purpose of us doing these videos. Now I want to start here. This is off of Glenn Beck's YouTube page, okay, and whether these individuals are controlled opposition, all right, or whether they're seriously in belief of what they are saying, overall, it's drawn a reaction, and there's people commenting, all right, and there's people in the planet Earth who hold to these ideas wholeheartedly and are serious, okay, and these are the type of Edomites that are going to take to the streets and act as a shield for the elect, all right. These are going to be the ones protesting, okay. These are going to be the ones taking up arms, and the thing is, once they see, all right, that even Donald Trump isn't going to work for them, okay, and he's leading them to the very same system, subtly, he's a, he acts as a nationalist, all right, but he's the biggest supporter of the small hats, or one of the biggest supporters of the small hats of all of the U.S. presidents. Okay, so again, they talk out of both sides of their mouth. There's a lot of confusions, a lot of enchantments, but overall, both sides are working to bring about the NWO. Okay.
Deputy campaign manager for Kamala Harris.
Now you can see the title of this video is Leaked Democrat Zoom Call Reveals How Close We Are to a Totalitarian Takeover. All right, and you see what's happening in the UK. We see ultimately the mindset of the WEF. Okay, they want full control. All right, and one of their ways to full control is to take away free speech. All right, and particular talking points be punishable by, you disappearing. All right, or you being jailed.
They created a program, and it was revealed on this Skype call or this Zoom call that the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, created a program to detect, track, and have social media platforms.
Which the DNC, real quick, let me show you this. They had, all right, the president from, all right, a sitcom or a show by the name of Scandal. All right, the guy who was a president on that show, Scandal, is speaking, all right, at the DNC, all right, the Democratic convention, with the full endorsement for Vice President Kamala Harris, showing you that they're telling you to your face this is all a scandal and a game. All right, but here it is. This guy's an actor. All right, they didn't had Hulk Hogan. They got Megan Thee Stallion. Now they got a guy who played a president on the show called Scandal, okay, speaking and endorsing Harris.
Because she has a message for us. It is a message that's joyful, not mean-spirited. A message of public service, not self-service. A message of optimism and opportunity, not chaos and division. A message that has woken us up to who we are, to who we've always been. Because Americans are not a cynical people. We are not small-minded. And whether we realize it right now or not, we are currently already writing a new chapter of the American story. And we can dream as big as we want. So I just want to ask you, are you excited? Yeah?
This place is completely through, but let's finish with this video.
Flag misinformation narratives, including online discussions about Biden's mental fitness for public office. Eden Pure is having their favorite.
So basically now, all right, laws are getting ready to be put in place, all right, to where if you criticize, because they put, all right, the whole Biden thing was an act, in my opinion. I mean, of course, he's old, he's incontinent, he's through, but I believe it was overkill, and it was for a purpose to get people talking. All right, now, all right, if you have particular talking points against him and his age and how he's unfit to be president, all of these various different things, all right, you could be subject to punishment, just like what's going on over there in the UK. But let's keep listening.
A Zoom call that Flaherty had conducted with Hope, Not Hate. That is a a UK-based activist group that its mission is to stop far-right extremism. So in this Zoom call,
So the far right versus the far left, which is what I wanted to get into, dealing with this chick, Candace Owens, all right, Elon Musk, Trump, and we're going to tap into a few things that they're doing, all right, that as the scriptures say, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. But let's listen to a little bit more of this.
Failure, who is a independent journalist, revealed that whatever they deemed to be misinformation, they could court it off. Flaherty said misinformation narratives include conversation online about corruption. Think of that. This is your federal government and your Democratic National Committee putting a program together. Hell, this is during the campaign. Imagine what they have now. Putting a program together to target you. If you said, I don't know, is he fit to run? Flaherty called the program one of the smartest things orchestrated by the Democratic Party.
And this is the two horns like a lamb. All right, we bring this out a lot. All right, but we're starting to see, all right, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11, unless Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, now let's get Revelation 13:11. We bring this, all right, because the new song is going to be sung, all right, over and over again until the Lord does the work. Okay, so we bring out these points constantly, because when you deal with Israel, you have to instill things in their head. Look how they're acting over the mark of the beast. Every day is a new camp with a new breakdown. So we have to keep going into these things, because a lot of you are sheep. You know, we're all sheep, but sheep have the tendency to stir off, man. This is why the good shepherd, beat them on their side, and keep them in with his staff and his rod. He would keep them on the right path. And if one wandered off, he'd go get them. Okay, and it was his job to keep them from the wild beast, all right, that came to devour them. So it is our job to keep the flock's mind in the right place. So we keep going over these points. But this is Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. So you have the leftist, all right, the liberal, and the scriptures tell you the vile man shall no more be called liberal. People are waking up to the fact that this liberal talking point only leads to tyranny. Okay, and then you have the right, all right, the right wing, which is, more sticking to family values, a belief in God. Okay, our people having, so you have the two horns like a lamb. You have the Democratic and the Republican system, which really is the globalist agenda versus the nationalist agenda. All right, speaking as a lamb, as if they're there to save you. All right, but from these two sides, from these two opposing sides, is going to come draconian measures, which this is what he's describing.
Program, one of the smartest things orchestrated by the Democratic Party. A news release from May 2021 said he had been announced as the DNC Counter Disinformation Program's lead analyst in recent months. Then Biden for President Director of Rapid Response, who later became the Biden administration's White House Deputy Director of Digital Strategy, took part in the call as well. And she said that there was a massive amount of disinformation relating to Biden's mental fortitude. She explained that people were making posts related to topics deemed disinformation, and they were targeted in real time based on their online behavioral cues, building out personas based on the kind of content that you were consuming and that you were searching for, and the kind of websites you were visiting.
So they can say people who, hold to these conspiracy theories about the president, people who hold to this, and they can search, all right, social media history, because social media is a snare. That's why they allow these platforms. They allow people to have these talking points, because the whole time you're being put on a list. All right, now let's switch to this video here, okay? Uploaded by Arrows of Indignation. We'll go back to this one, but let's listen to this. Then I want to get into Candace Owens.
If we lose this election, I truly believe we've lost the country. This isn't...
See, this is the right-wing Edomite mindset, and this is how they are feeling. And again, once they see that Trump isn't working out for them, the next person to blame is going to be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay?
Just the most important election of our life, which they always say. This could very well be the last free election in
things are getting ready to change. Okay? You're not going to have the freedoms to speak and say and do, all right, as you once did, to buy and live. It's all going to change, man.
If we lose this election, we may not make it as a constitutional republic by 2026.
See, they're going to do away with your Constitution. Okay? And that technocracy we've been telling you about is going to be put in place. Okay?
That's not hyperbole. I don't have any joy in saying that. I hope that I'm completely wrong on that. America will still exist, but she won't exist in a way that you are familiar with. They are going to become more and more draconian. This is the Chavez moment. It honestly is. This is the Chavez moment. Venezuela, when they voted Chavez in, that sealed their fate. And remember, all of these people loved Chavez. All of them. All of them said, that's the future. That's what's going to cure all of the problems in Venezuela. You know what their problems were in Venezuela? Corruption. Was any of that solved?
Nope.
No. It only got much, much worse because that's the way socialism and communism works. And you're seeing it happen in real time. If they could put Elon Musk into jail, they would. If they could.
And that's another pawn in the grand scheme of what they're trying to do. All right, as we'll show you, Elon Musk, all right, Trump, all right, Candace Owens, and they have all of these different players playing their part, I believe, all right, for the purpose of bringing, all right, forth that legislation, all right, to attack particular talking points, which will eventually trickle down to those of us who are speaking the truth. Okay? Because what was Elon Musk's, all right, whole purpose of buying Twitter and naming it X was for the purpose of free speech, all right, being preserved. Okay? He's a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist and is demanding the government to infringe on free speech rights. Okay? And remember when he interviewed, all right, Donald Trump, all right, the EU told him he would have to censor that interview, all right, or he could face consequences. He has enough money to tell him to kiss his ass. Okay? Okay? And they're going to use him, and they've used him and people like Trump to actually attack free speech. All right? But they're all playing their part. So let's go back here.
Would take his company away from him. They would.
Let's go back here.
Was any of that solved? No. It only got much, much worse because that's the way socialism and communism works. And you're seeing it happen in real time. If they could put Elon Musk into jail, they would. If they could take his company away from him, they would.
And people like him, all right, they're set up to be against the NWO agenda, but they're all in the same gang. All right, but if they're able to shut down a guy like Elon Musk, all right, over his free speech, thought process, what do you think they'll be able to do to somebody like you? If they were able to kick Donald Trump off of Twitter, right? They kicked him off of Twitter because of his talking points, because of his views, all right, because of his nationalist mindset, right? which is all a joke, but he was a catalyst. So now they can kick anybody off. All right. But now with, Elon Musk buying Twitter back, now Trump can have a voice on Twitter again. It's called X now, and free speech this and free speech that. But Elon Musk is being threatened, all right, by the globalist agenda, all right, that he has to censor this, he has to censor that. I believe it's all a play. All right, because these could be particular sacrificial lambs that, they'll act as if they put them in jail, or if they really kicked them off, or they're really, taking them to court or jail, whatever it could be. All right. And then this opens up the door for them to come, all right, after everyday Americans. All right. And people are, in the UK, you see they're catching it. All right. Online talking points are getting them thrown in jail. No trial, all right, coming and picking them up, throwing them in jail, all right, 18 months, 20 months. Basically, your online talking points, all right, are leading people to rebel and go out into the streets. You're dangerous. And we already told you about, all right, the infodemic, right? Okay. An infodemic is an excessive amount of information about a problem that is typically unreliable, okay? Spreads rapidly and makes a solution more difficult to achieve. All right. We've seen that during the Ovid. All right. They were saying particular people speaking against it, putting doubt out there, made it harder for them to bring about, all right, the solution, which was the juice. All right. It says too much information, including false or misleading information in a digital or in digital and physical environments during, all right, outbreak. All right. And we see now that they're coming with, you know, the MPOX and many more, all right, situations that can deal and mess up people's health. So again, when these things come to pass, all right, legislation could very well be passed, all right, to where if you're speaking against the government, you're speaking against this, you have it, you could be subject to being penalized.
These people are not messing around. And it's fascinating to me how afraid they are of you. It's remarkable the lengths they will go to keep you afraid and silent and to keep truth from you. There is no length that these people will not go to.
All right, because truth is the enemy of the NWO, the truth of the matter. It's the enemy of everything that these devils have going for themselves. They've been able to get themselves to the point where they are in their rulership because of lies, because of the true misinformation. Okay? False narrative, pseudoscience. So the truth being spread, as the scripture said it would in the latter days, starting with the servants, the prophets, but even individuals like Glenn Beck, which he doesn't teach the truth, but he says things that are true and that expose the agenda of the other side. Because there is a war going on, all right, amongst Esau, Edom. Even amongst the elites of Esau, Edom, there's a war going on. They're a nation divided. Okay? Their own tongues are falling upon themselves. Okay?
The only reason why they haven't gone to extreme ends, I think they already are at extreme ends, but the reason why we just haven't just thrown Trump into jail is because of you. They know half the country is not for that. The other half of the country is asleep. I shouldn't say half of the country. I say 30% of it is just dead asleep. You know, if you count our side, maybe more than that, but on the left. And there's about 20% that are just flat out radicals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. And this was another video. We'll check this one out. But as you see, he said on the left. So you have the right versus the left, the two horns like a lamb leading to draconian measures, which is hardcore legislation being passed upon the people. Now, let's go. Let me see here. Let's go here, right? And I guess I'll bring this out real quick. That Trump is offering Elon Musk a role in his administration. As you can see there now, buddy. Okay? And again, they're both supposed to be, you know, pawns against the NWO, against the globalist agenda, against what they're trying to institute. But at the same time, they're really a part of it, man. Okay? And they're both being looked at as saviors. All right? They're being looked at as some two people that these right wingers can look to. Okay? And these two can be clicked up, all right, for a purpose, all right, that's going to, you know, eventually be used to bring forth some hardcore legislation. Trump offers Elon Musk a role in his administration if he wins, but plans to cut EV tax credits. All right. Former President Donald Trump revealed Monday that he would consider offering Tesla SpaceX CEO, all right, Elon Musk, a cabinet position or an advisory role if he wins a second term in the White House. Now, what is Elon Musk known for? all right, outside of everything else we've been talking about, is his Neuralink. Okay? So again, these devils have a lot going on. Okay? He's a part of, all right, bringing about the MOTB technology. His aim towards it is more so helping humanity and healing them past, all right, limitations and ailments and, neurological damage and limb damage and stuff like that. And then you have the other aspect, all right, of, using it to buy, sell, where your identity doesn't get stolen and all of these various different things, but it's all a part of the same system. So this can very well, all right, if DT gets in, right, this can very well be, a move to help push, all right, because Donald Trump is all about surveillance, okay? Don't get it twisted, all right? But let's see here. You can keep reading that. But I thought this was very interesting that these two have been clicked up, all right? And remember, Trump was kicked off Twitter. Then Elon Musk bought it, and he's boasting in the rights of free speech. Now he's giving Trump a platform. So they're clicked up, all right, for a reason, all right? Eventually they can put both of their asses in jail and say anyone, who holds to these ideas, who thinks like them, yada, 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 and trickle it on down, all right, and filter it on down to even the truth, all right? Because remember when Trump got in office, well, not when he got in office, but he said at one point, all right, America needs to repent. See, he's supposedly this Bible believer, which is all a spirit. The Lord is just is working a beautiful work, and all of these things are working together. All right, ultimately for the elect. But again, these particular talking points will be used to come against us. Okay, but at the same time, everybody's figuring out that this man ain't shit. All right, let's get that. The vile man shall no more be called liberal. So the talking points of, particular these right wingers, it is actually true. All right, some of the things that they say, all right, but overall, America's going to be destroyed, man. So the Lord set these particular right wing Edomites up to go against the left wing, but it all helps to fulfill prophecy, man. And these devils are going to use these things as a way to come against the truth. This is Isaiah 32:4. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerer shall be ready to speak plainly. And that the elect were waking up. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, and the true said to be bountiful. Why? Because the elect are speaking plainly. Okay? The children of Israel have come back to the understanding of who they are. All right, which that marks the end of Esau's world. So the talking point of him being an Edomite, the talking point of him lying about being the chosen people of the Most High. All right, the you wish people. All of these things are coming out on him, man. Everywhere you look, he's being exposed. Okay. For the vile person will speak villainy and his heart will work iniquity. So you're not liberal. And again, that whole liberal talking point is a two-edged sword. All right. They're giving you the liberty to destroy yourself and do as you will and rebel against the Heavenly Father. Right. It says the vile person will speak villainy and his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. And that's what this whole Biden administration stands for. Okay? All of them. But when you look at this Biden administration, they have really, really, all right, put forth the agenda of Satan. Okay? All under the pretense, all under the guise of liberal. Okay? Which a liberal is one willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, open to new ideas. And look at what's liberally been brought up on you. Now you got 8-year-olds changing their sex. Now you got men changing themselves into women, so-called, and fighting against them and competing against them in sports. You got women growling, going up and down the streets, all right, growling and boasting about how many all right, baby deletions they got. All right. You have this gender war. You have the civil rights. All right, women's rights. You have Black Lives Matter. All of this confusion comes under a democracy and liberal. Okay. Relating to or denoting to a political and social philosophy that promotes individual rights. See, under a democracy, all right, individual rights matter. See, in a republic, these are the laws you got to follow. See, but again, both of these things have been weaponized to destroy the people. Give me 1 second. Right, because they're able to take these civil liberties and force them, all right, as laws, all right, pertaining to certain groups of people who practice certain lifestyles. They're then able to make laws surrounding their sexual preference, and people who speak against it. It's a weapon. It starts out and it sounds like, yeah, we respect, people's opinions, people's lifestyles, people's this, people that. All right, but at the very end, all right, they're telling people who don't agree with it, all right, you got to go to jail. You got to shut up. They're able to then pass laws, all right, telling people who don't agree, all right, with the agenda that they make up. And it's all anti-Messiah, all right, because on the other side of the liberal, you have a nationalist. As you can see here, a person who strongly identifies with their own nation, vigorously supports its interest, all right, especially in exclusion, all right, or detriment of the interests of other nations. All right, let's see here. A person who advocates and supports political independence. Okay, and these are going to be your more Christian, all right, Edomites. Okay, loyalty to a nation. All right, so you see the globalist agenda versus the nationalist agenda, the two horns like a lamb, and both sides are being used very, very deceptively, okay, to take away your rights. You see? Okay, nationalist deals with culture, ethnicity. In this sense, you're an American. Geographic location, language, politics, or government, religion. All right, the belief of a God, which under the liberal, they're godless. Okay, traditions and belief in a shared singular history. So again,
Do you understand what they are now been caught red-handed doing? They are monitoring every keystroke you make. If you say something out of line with what the state wants you to say, this is KGB stuff. If you speak out of line, then what happens? Well, DNC said, quote, "We targeted folks based on online behavioral cues. We built out the personas based on the content they were consuming and searching for, the kinds of websites they were visiting, so we could target those folks in real time as they were exposed to that." So if you went to glennbeck.com and you got a story, or the Blaze, and you got a story and you passed it, and it was anything the state disagreed with, which is pretty much everything that we have printed, you were targeted and things were put into your feed.
and this is why you see a lot of Israelites backtracking. They're secretly turning back into Christians. All right. You peep that. All right, because they think that they're going to be able to lessen the blow of the persecution that's coming. Okay, and either the Lord's with you or he's not. Now, you can check out the rest of this video. Let's see if we can do a little bit more.
They took the helm of the program, and the reports were sent to the highest levels of the Biden campaign, according to Flaherty. The program is still listed on the DNC's official website. Durgan remains employed by the DNC going on 6 years now, according to his LinkedIn page. He previously worked a few months for data visualization.
And they're all working behind closed doors. All right, there's certain disagreements, but this is the type of world, okay, that they are visualizing, all right, putting forth. As a matter of fact, as you can see here, all right, Killer Claus, all right, says era of shock events coming ahead of 2024 election. And everything that they've been saying on the left-hand side, all right, over these, these last years, they'll say it and then things will start taking place because on the left-hand side, they're trying to speak their victory into existence. Okay, so they're warning, all right, that an era of shock events is coming. So all kind of things are getting ready to take place. All right. And again, all of these talking points, all of these things we see where they're attacking free speech and where they're coming against people with certain talking points. So we're going to show you this Candace Owens, all right, character. All right. And again, these people are saying things that are on point. All right. But these events that's coming down the pipe can give them the necessary power. All right. As you can see here in a dystopian article, all right, the WEF warns citizens heading to the polls in November should be expecting destabilizing events, including a cyber, all right, demic, all right, which is intentional, the emergence of a new global extremist group, all right, and fast track, all right, sea change disasters, including sudden sea level rise that will submerge at island level. So they're saying be on the lookout for all of these crazy events, and why these events are happening, that's going to give them the ability to pass the legislation that they want, man. Okay? What are they planning? Perhaps the most concerning line in the article is reference to intentional cyber attacks, okay, which we got an example of that some weeks ago. Okay? Well, again, imagine when these things don't come back on, the grid is attacked, all right, and you're not able to log in to nothing, all right, for months, for weeks, it's going to start to disrupt the economy, disrupt this world, and they're going to be able to collapse the society, man. And in the collapse of their society, they can pass laws, all right, where your rights don't matter. And people will be calling for these laws because they need peace and safety, man. These devils are not slick, and we are not ignorant of their devices. Okay? So again, watch out for these crazy events that are getting ready to take place. All right, as they're not going to stop. All right, now let's get into this chick right here, Candace Owens. All right, which I believe she's controlled opposition. Now, with some of these people, do they actually believe some of the stuff that they're saying? Are they real people who really just had jobs being journalists and had opinions, right? And then the so-called, the elites used them, all right, and allowed them to say things? Or do they know that they're involved in what they're doing? These are the things we don't know. All right. However, all right, Satan is able to transform himself into an angel of light. All right. Even that's in the scriptures, man. He can make himself to seem innocent, pure hearted, as if he had, again, it's two horns like a lamb. Okay. Now she, all right, which over these last couple of years, there's been so-called Negroes, all right, speaking out against those small hats. And they've isolated, all right, these people, Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, her, it was a few others, I believe. All right, but really the main people cursing out the small hats is other Edomites. But they don't really highlight those because they need the energy of you so-called Negroes, all right? That will be their, when you listen to some of the things that this chick is saying, as you can see here, she broke the internet by claiming that Zionists are not the original JEWs, but are actually demon worshipers, all right? And I mean, when you go into the history, all right, that thing was established by atheists. Look it up. It says, she goes on to say that modern day Israel, founded by the Red Shield people. Look, she's calling out the Red Shield people. She's calling out these people. You see it, right? Has become a safe haven for pedos. You see that? Many people, mostly conservatives, are now calling for her to be banned from X. See? So you have these particular people saying and doing these things, all right? and they have bigger names. They have people looking at them, and they could ban them from the internet. All right, they could eventually take some of these people to jail. This will then give them the go ahead to do it to everybody.
Many moons ago, before they decided to establish Israel as a country, I know you've read like the short version in the classroom, and it was like, oh, the Holocaust happened, and then we realized.
See, and I can't play too much of that, but she is going in. She going in. Okay. it's you know, and she was dealing with the Ben Shapiro dude who's a small hat, and he kicked her off of his show. All right. She's very opinionated. She's married to an Edomite. All right. But ultimately, you know, which I believe all of these people control opposition to a degree. But the Lord has a spirit out there. All right. To where, hey, these small hats are getting called out. As the scriptures say, you've become small among the heathen and being greatly despised. You see? But again, all right, this can lead to them, all right, saying enough is enough. All right, we have to get these kind of people off of the internet, man. And this can clearly be tied to what we're saying. So is it a snare? All right, of course it's a snare. Let's see if I can move this up. Sparks outrageous you-ish conspiracies. Okay. She said they're not the original yous. All right. And see, what they're saying is that the people who established, all right, the state of Israel aren't the real yous. The other ones who were sincere about returning home, those are. She ain't saying that the so-called blacks are the true, all right, you-ish people, man. And remember, John the Baptist got his head cut off for cursing out those small hats, telling them they ain't the real people. All right, because Herod committed adultery with his brother's wife, and John the Baptist was cursing him out like, well, here it is, as the scriptures say, they are esteemed as counterfeits by us. See, so again, they are systematically, in my opinion, all right, as you can see, she's calling out the pedo cabals, linking it to the small hats. Okay, she went on to explain elitist, all right, pedos are fleeing from America to Israel and receiving protection. She says Congress sends billions of dollars in aid to the small hats, all right, to protect those pedos, all right. There's a problem here that we can't get our pedos back from a nation that we've given billions to, yada, yada, yada. And again, these are all talking points, right, that can link to what we're saying. Okay? So I believe that she's being used. Does she really believe the stuff she's saying? I don't know. Right? But she's going to definitely be used, okay, to get back on this anti-Sim thing. Okay? And laws are going to be passed. Don't forget, all right, that this guy Trump, all right, said death penalty should be in place for anti-Sim in America. Okay? So
This evil anti-Semitic attack is an assault on all of us. It's an assault on humanity. It will require all of us working together to extract the hateful poison of anti-Semitism from our world. This was an anti-Semitic attack at its worst. The scourge of anti-Semitism cannot be ignored, cannot be tolerated, and it cannot be allowed to continue. We can't allow it to continue. It must be confronted and condemned everywhere it rears its very ugly head. We must stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters to defeat anti-Semitism and vanquish the forces of hate. That's what it is. Through the centuries, the Jews have endured terrible persecution, and you know that. We've all read it, we've studied it. They've gone through a lot. And those seeking their destruction, we will seek their destruction. Like this, whether it's this one or another one on another group, we have to bring back the death penalty. They have to pay the ultimate price. They have to pay the ultimate price. They can't do this. They can't do this to our country. We must draw a line in the sand and say very strongly, never again.
All right, this is the book of Sirach 51:1, a prayer, all right, of Yahushua, son of Sirach. I will thank thee, O Lord and King, and praise thee, O God, my Savior. I do give praise unto that name. For thou art my defender and helper, and hast preserved my body from destruction and from the snare of the slanderous tongue, okay, and from the lips that forge lies, and has been mine helper against mine adversaries. And we're going to need this kind of help, because it is definitely coming, man. All right, you're starting to see particular Israelites, okay, they only do videos against, all right, One West, all right, or they're doing videos, all right, putting us out there as people who want to steal children and grape women. You know, they're putting that narrative out there. Okay, a lot of these dudes are agents. A lot of these dudes are going to be used to come up, because you would think getting this close to the end, Jake will stick to the truth, but Jake is sort of backtracking, all right, truce breaking. And what they're doing is a lot of them are trying to put themselves in place, all right, to aid Esau and help him to persecute the church. Okay, that's what I see, right? I know this video's all over the place, but hey, it'll be all right. It says, and has delivered me according to the multitude of thy mercies and the greatness of thy name from the teeth of them that were ready to devour me, and out of the hands of such as sought after my life, and from manifold afflictions that I had. Okay, this is ultimately, if you're standing for Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, this is the position you're going to be in. And from the choking of fire on every side, and from the midst of a fire which I kindle not, but they're going to blame you for it. You didn't kindle the fire, but they're going to blame you for it. From the depth of the belly of hell, from the unclean tongue, and from lying words. See, by accusation to the king from an unrighteous tongue, all right, my soul drew near even unto death. My life was near to hell beneath. And if these people are able to have their way, all right, hey, all of us are going to die, man, and be carted off, tortured. But see, the Lord doesn't have that written in the story. They compassed me on every side, and there was no man to help me. I looked for the succor of men, but there was none. And this is how we're going to feel, man. I thought upon thy mercy, O Lord, and thy acts of old, how thou deliverest such as wait, all right, for thee, and saved them out of the hands of thy enemies. I lifted up my supplications from the earth and prayed for deliverance from death. I called upon the Lord, the Father of my Lord, that he would not leave me in the day of my trouble, and from the time of the proud where there was no help. Okay, so we're going to have to lean and call on Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, because as the scriptures say, the sinner ain't going to escape with his spoils, man. And see, all of these, everything that they're doing, okay, is to put themselves in position to win. Okay? To blot out the cry of the elect. Okay? And to blame us as terrorists. That's what they want to do. It's Sirach 16:13. The sinner shall not escape with his spoils, and the patience of the godly shall not frustrate. All right, I got to roll out. Hopefully I'll edify. Shalom.